Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th Canto, Chapter 11, text number 15. Bhutehi panchabir arabdhe yoshit purusha evahi tayor vivayat sambhutir yoshit purushayorya. Translation and purport by Prabhupada ki jai. The creation of the material world begins with the 5 elements, and thus everything, including the body of a man or a woman, is created out of these elements. By the sexual life of man and woman, a number of men and women in this material world is further increased. Purport. When Swayambhuva Manu saw that Dhruva Mahārāja understood the philosophy of Vaishnavism and yet was still dissatisfied because of his brother's death, he gave him an explanation of how this material body is created by the 5 elements of material nature. In the Bhagavad Gita it is also confirmed, Prakriti kriyamanani. Everything is created, maintained, and annihilated by the material modes of nature. In the background, of course, there is the direction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, Mayadhyakshena. In the 9th chapter, Krishna says, under my superintendence, material nature is acting. Swayambhuva Manu wanted to impress on Dhruva Mahārāja that death of the material body of his brother was not actually the Yaksha's fault. It is an act of material nature. The Supreme Personality of Godhead has immense varieties of potencies, and they act in different gross and subtle ways. It is by such powerful potencies that the universe is created. Although grossly it appears to be no more than 5 elements: earth, water, fire, air, ether. Similarly, the bodies of all species of living entities, whether human beings or demigods, animals or birds, are all created by the same 5 elements, and by sexual union they expand into more and more living entities. That is a way of creation, maintenance and annihilation. One should not be disturbed by the waves of material nature in this process. Dhruva Mahārāja was indirectly advised not to be afflicted by death of his brother, because our relationship with the body is completely material. The real self, spirit soul, is never annihilated or killed by anyone. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport. So as Prabhupada explains here, Swayambhuva Manu was explaining to Dhruva Mahārāja the reality of how this material world, which is made up of material elements, is functioning in the form of material nature delivering male and female bodies to different souls, irrespective of what those species of life it may be. And this combination of life of male and female in this material world, creates further males and females. And this way the entire material world is sustained. These male and female forms, they have a birth and they have a death. But before they die, they produce more male and female bodies. And therefore the population sustains, the material world sustains. And very specifically here, Swayambhu Manu is pointing out to him that even though the bodies are made of 5 elements, Panchabhuta, still these bodies are not simply combined Panchabhutas. There is direction from the Supreme Lord to material nature as to how to manufacture this, how to produce these bodies, in which the living entities can take their journey from birth to death. Living entities who are spirit souls, who are beyond this material nature, can take a journey in this material body. And this material body is governed by 3 modes of material nature. And in a way, the living entity is a kshetrajna, a simple spectator. Of course, he is taking decisions using his free will, but his free will is transcendental. The material body borrows that free will, and the body acts as if it is free, but actually the living entity is simply following the ways of the 3 modes of material nature. So this entire material existence is run on the principle of guna, kala and karma. Kala is the direction from the super soul. And karma is the entitlement of each jiva, sukha and dukkha, which is delivered by kala through the forces of 3 modes of material nature. So nobody can create this kind of a machine that Krishna himself has created. Mayadikshena, by his direction, such a wonderful mission is working. The scientists, they say they have advanced so much. They are not advanced so much, they are simply learning from nature. They are copying from Krishna's nature. They are copying and they are saying they are advanced. Till now they are not able to make even one cell, the billions of cells in this body. How can you say advanced? One cell they have not produced. Such a complex mission, and it appears to be automatically happening. Everything is encoded. All directions are encoded. They give so much credit. Oh, we know now DNA, RNA, all these things we have found out. Who made those DNA and RNA? If you are taking so much credit for having discovered, who designed and made that? Which is directing everyone's body, which is directing everybody's thinking, feeling, willing. If you have a male consciousness, you have appropriate DNA. You have a female consciousness, you have appropriate DNA. And the entire material energy is run according to guna, kala and karma. That law of karma we cannot see with our eyes. Action and reaction. That law of karma we cannot see with our eyes. But the law exists. And the law gets implemented. And that is why each one of us have no choice what kind of body to be born in. We are all born into a particular body, into a particular family. We have not chosen. That is Daiva-Varṇāśrama, by higher arrangement. There are higher laws. Law of karma is that higher law. Law of karma is a law of equal opportunity for all living entities. As you sow, so you reap. You got freedom, but you are also responsible. That is law of karma. Freedom and responsibility. The entire material world is running on this principle. So Swayambhuva Manu is trying to explain to Dhruva Mahārāja an important point, that you are thinking that so-and-so killed your brother, this Yakshas killed your brother. And he is giving him a higher perspective, that look, everything is happening by the three modes of material nature. No living entity is a direct cause in the material world. In the spiritual world, you can do something directly. In the material world, you cannot do anything directly. You only you are identifying with the actions and reactions in this material world, which is happening according to three modes of material nature. Now, was there, it is a, did not the Yaksha's brother Yaksha actually kill his brother? Yes, that Yaksha himself is also acting according to his bodily nature, his bodily situation, all those things. He is acting. So entire material world, prakrite kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvasha ahankara vimudhatma kartaham iti manyate. Of course, each of us are responsible for our free will, but that free will is not directly enacted. It is enacted through the material laws of nature. The living entity, being spirit soul, cannot move anything in the material world. He cannot move anything in the material world. Because material world is different energy. This body and its energy is different, and the soul is different. These very elementary aspects of spirituality or Krishna consciousness, that we are not this body. But then why, if we are not this body, why we are in this body? Why we are identifying ourselves with this body? Why do I feel this is me? Why do I feel that the relationship of this body is my feelings, my relationship? Why do we feel? Because that feeling is coming from the soul. Feeling something is I is called ahanta feeling. Feeling something is related to me is called mamata feeling. Material nature by itself doesn't have this ahanta and mamata feelings, because material nature is impersonal. This ahanta and mamata feeling, the I-ness and minus, that feeling is coming from the soul. Originally that I-ness is connected to our original content of I. What is that? I am eternal servant of Krishna. That is my original coordinates, that is my original bearing, existential bearing. This body has no existential bearing. If you go beyond a certain point, it goes to ashes. So its existential bearing is just Panchabhuta in the universal Panchabhuta, that's all. But that Panchabhuta does not have, even now this body does not have by itself that feeling of I. The body does not have that feeling of I. I am seated in this body and I identify with this body and I have the feeling of I. And on that basis of illusion that I am this body, I create relationships, network of relationship as my relationships. Therefore, I create my false ego, I am this body, and I create all my relationships in order to fulfill the interest of the false ego. False self-identity, I am this body, to fulfill the interest of that I create so many relationship egos. Father, mother, brother, they're all relationship egos. I am the body is the existential ego. I am what I am. That's called ahanta. So we fall down from our original existential ego, that I am a pure, eternal servant of Krishna, part and parcel of the Supreme Whole, Krishna. Krishna is the Supreme Whole. All of us are part and parcel of that Supreme Whole. So that existential ego is my original ego. That is called real ego. Ego is not bad. Ego is the basis of life, Prabhupada says. But real ego is different from false ego. False ego is a real ego who is haunted by a false identity. I am this material body. In this life, I am haunted by this kind of material body. We take a material body in each life. As we grow up, our identification with the particular body goes on deepening. As the particular identification of the body deepens, the concept of gender also starts getting polarized. I am male. Somebody else is female. This is male. So you see the whole world as you grow up as a combination of male and female. All self-created. It's called false ego, all self-created. Because there are only male and female lookalikes in this material world. The concept of male, female is all spiritual. These are perverted reflections that is projected by our soul, which knows deep within what is male, what is female, everything. What is rasa, everything deep, the soul knows. So it's projecting on this body. But why we are stuck in this situation? Why I am stuck in this world of false egos? Because at the root of false ego, even before I identify with my body, it is my desire for independently fulfilling my soul's hunger for Sattva, Chitta and Ananda. I being part and parcel of Krishna, I am complete. Then I dovetail my Sattva, Chitta, Ananda instinct with Krishna, who is the Satchidananda Vigraha. So when I try to seek, just like Krishna is the center of Sattva, Chitta and Ananda, absolute center, then I also want to experience independently Sat, power, freedom, position, Chit, intelligence, knowledge, wisdom, Ananda, pleasure, love, play. All these things, if these are all our original soul's tendency, I want to experience that independently. Now we in the spiritual world, we have spiritual bodies. In the spiritual body you cannot practice this because spiritual body is spiritual. Spiritual body is Chinmaya. Spiritual body is belonging to the internal energy. Spiritual body cannot act self-centeredly. Spiritual body can act only in pure devotional service. So if the soul wants to act otherwise, it is provided with a material body in the material world by the external energy of the Lord. And that is this bodies of males and females. Every living entity is seeking rasa. And they are trying to seek rasa centered around this body, male and female. So it's a huge scam, massive scam. The soul is caught up in the mass illusion. I think you are that body, you think I am that body. But actually I never see you and you never see me. We don't see each other at all. Do we see our soul? No. We see the soul's propensities, thinking, feeling, willing, but we don't see the soul. Ego, real ego, is manifest as false ego, shining through as a false ego. So you experience in the material world consists of full of real egos, real people with false bodies. Because of forgetfulness of Krishna. So that's at the root of everything in this material existence. The living entity who is pure, part and parcel of Krishna. Jivera surupu hoy, Krishnera nitya dasa. The definition of soul given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Definition of soul given by Krishna is Mame Vamsha Jiva Loke, Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu revealed more specifically Every living entity is part and parcel of Krishna. So that is the concept of Krishna, you see. The absolute personality. We are all tiny personalities. And our relationship is as eternal servants, loving servants. Right now the living entity in the material world is servant of his false ego. Why do you say servant of the false ego? Because he gives his thinking for false ego, feeling for false ego, willing for false ego. He gives his free will for false ego. He gives his attention to false ego, totally dedicated, attention fully gone, only for the body and bodily activities. So lock, stock and barrel, we sell our soul to false egos. And from the transcendental, spiritual, dignified self-concept of being Satchidananda, Amsha of Krishna, we fall down to think that I am this body. So in a way, all our bodies are punishment bodies. Punishment bodies. When somebody is not doing proper job in one department in the government, they'll give him a punishment transfer, they'll do. Is it not? Similarly, when we want to misuse our transcendental senses, spiritual senses, then we are given a punishment bodies. Prabhupada explains these material bodies is an embarrassment for the soul. When we understand our spiritual dignity, then we see it is an embarrassment for the soul, this material body. Chasing after material sense gratification is an embarrassment. Dream-like activity of the soul. It is not constitutional for the soul to have a material body. So it is only by association with Krishna, who is pure Satchidananda, can our pure identity be awakened, discovered. The whole sadhana bhakti is meant to support this awakening. The lifestyle of bhakti yogi, the lifestyle of a sadhaka is meant to support the holy name in awakening our original consciousness. The Nama Avatara, Surya of Satchidananda. And it is all due to the living entities Asat, Achit, Nirananda, Jadananda, beliefs. That is the reason why we get stuck in this material body. One life after another life. That's why we get stuck. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given us the way, saying that the Nama Avatara, being Namnamakari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shakti, all the Shaktis of the Lord, Sat Shakti, Chit Shakti, Ananda Shakti, all these Shaktis are infused into the sound that we chant. And it becomes Nama Avatara. And that Nama Avatara you worship by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. By chanting you worship. And by hearing you take association. You worship, then the Nama enters your ears, it goes to our heart. It's the Surya of Satchidananda. It will evaporate Asat, Achit and Nirananda. Or Jadananda beliefs. All these things will get wiped out. by the power of the holy name. But at the same time, the living entity has to have a lifestyle as designed by Guru. And that lifestyle of a sadhaka is designed by Guru in such a way that you don't collect new asat, new achit, new jadananda. Otherwise, what is the use of like elephant taking bath? Elephant goes, takes a bath and then comes out and again puts mud all over its body. Prabhupada gives this example. So therefore, chanting Hare Krishna and following four regulative principles, following the sadhana, all very carefully designed by the great acharyas to finally awaken our original Shuddha Chitta, pure consciousness. In our sadhana bhakti, we are day to morning to evening, we are serving Krishna. I am the servant of Krishna. Everything you do is in relationship with Krishna. I am the servant of Krishna. I am servant of Krishna. And when it becomes pure, in this sense, it is, I don't serve my senses, I use my senses to serve Krishna. Then when that, our material chittam becomes pure, first our material chittam should become pure, contaminate consciousness should become pure. Then it will awaken our Shuddha Chitta. So this is a whole process of, Krishna consciousness. Then we get freedom from this material world of this, again being born in a body, identifying with a gender. The soul is materially genderless. When we engage in devotion service to Krishna, the soul is materially genderless. Because you are serving as I am an eternal servant of Krishna. So when we practice seeing everybody as materially genderless, then we become free from the basic entangling factor in the material world, which is described here as a male-female relationship. Devotees have soul-soul relationship, not male-female relationship. It is incidental to have a male body or female body in this material world due to past karma. But now when we come to Krishna consciousness, it is beyond gender. It is beyond age. Just see how great devotees like Prahlad, 5 years old, age was not a bar. Dhruva Mahārāja, age is not a bar. Devahuti, gender is not a bar. Kunti Devi, gender is not a bar. Bhakti is transcendental to all these material designation, old, young, male, female, rich, poor. So Krishna consciousness is the thing for everyone in this material world, for everyone, provided the surrender to Guru and the process that he is prescribing. Otherwise there is no use, there is no use. It's a very scientific process of awakening our original consciousness. And our original consciousness, when awakened, there is no question of any hunger for Sat, Chit and Ananda. It fully satisfying, suprasiddhati, completely satisfies the soul. Otherwise, any amount of material power, material knowledge, material pleasure, material love will never satisfy the soul. Never satisfy the soul. But this, once we get connected to Krishna, it will satisfy our soul. And we become free from this entanglement of male-femaleness in this material world. So, You have to see existence in this material body is a punishment for being what we cannot be, a self-centered enjoyer. You have to partake in the limitless enjoyment of Krishna, which is our original natural enjoyment called love of Krishna. This material sense enjoyment is like crows go and eat garbage. So any kinds of pleasure in this material world, pleasure of power, pleasure of love, pleasure of senses, pleasure of knowledge, all these things, the devotee who understand the philosophy of Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam consider it as pleasure for the crows. Crows, they eat some thrown away crumbs. At least the crows get real crumbs. Here you get imaginary crumbs. Because no pleasure is real, because matter does not contain pleasure. The living entity is projecting its own pleasure potency and concocting the experience of pleasure from material sense objects. Such a plain truth, but still we project pleasure on matter. Any questions? Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai.